victorious. Guaranteed we emerging victorious. Years, blood, sweat, tears is glorious. I remember when they always ignoring us. Dash, got it on, smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate. I'm cocky, I do my dance, jump in the stands. No man, man, oh deal with the hands. Thought he could guard me, I ruin they plans. I do what I want, they do what they can. Got it on, smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash. They slept on the team that they owe me. I need a ring and a trophy. I say I'm the best cause I am. It's no need in keeping it low-key. I can carve up the D like a turkey or run straight through the D like a train. This year we ain't taking no losses. It's all about making the game. I hear a lot of trash talk. He call himself making a name. I put on the Jets. The coach will regret even letting them stay in the game. Team morale took a tumble. Next time be humble. I'm the lion in the jungle. You just trying not to fumble. Rumble, young man, rumble. Never slip nor stumble. I take off, poof, magic. Now watch me juke through the traffic. Footwork fantastic. Dominating every facet. Treat the pocket like plastic. Here come the blitz, pass it. Got it on, smash. Put in the gas.
Okay, Coach. Well, from a place that's officially been recognized as the loudest venue in the NFL, there's a look at Arrowhead Stadium right here in Kansas City. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between our visitors and the Kansas City Chiefs. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. A bad start there, a big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down. That's called setting the tone right away.
It certainly is, and it lets you know just how important communication is amongst the offensive line. They talk about it all the time, knowing each other's moves. You've got to be coordinated and in sync. Otherwise, your quarterback gets hit.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Here's the first carry for Kenyon Drake. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
On the set. He's coming. 22's coming. Mike. Go slow. Grab on.
Derrick Henry. 8 yards on the run, and that cuts us down to a 3rd and about 5.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Third play here, this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5. From the gun, Jackson. Able to haul it in is Kittle. That goes for a Chiefs first down, 14 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Jackson. And he hits Drake. Give him 2 yards on that play, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. And that's knocked away and incomplete. That's a pretty good opening possession defensively.
And you know the goal is to make something of a statement, especially on the road with your first defensive possession, isn't it? Go right out and establish yourselves and let them know this is going to be tough going all game long.
They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. He's got the lane, and there he goes. He had his sights on the end zone, no doubt, but is brought down after a huge return there. And this offense is going to be set up with a 1st and 10 inside the 15. Now a fake on the give here as they try to run pass option. A quick throw complete to Chark. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. To throw on 2nd down. Collins. And it's caught. Touchdown. From 10 yards out as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. The Chiefs' offense about set to begin this drive and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win 1st down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating 1st downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Jackson. It's complete to Drake. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. A first carry for Kenyon Drake. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
65.
On 2nd and 9, Jackson into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 46, and he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. Charles, that makes now 5 interceptions in not even 5 quarters. Remember, he threw 4 picks last week.
And this turns into a tough situation because a lot of fans, the first thing is, oh, well, we need to change quarterbacks. This is your guy. This is your elite player. You can't just take him out like that. If I'm the coach, I make a little joke and say, you know some big guy, we're going to change the football. So
and hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because This is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Throwing right, and that's complete. And they rattle off a big one. And even 40 yards.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and goal at the 2-yard line.
2nd and 2. And it's caught. And he will take it in for the touchdown. A 2-yard touchdown grab. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Lambo to add on the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead.
14, Chiefs nothing.
And Lambo now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. They'll swing this complete out to Hill. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22.
They threw the screen to the perimeter, but to no benefit at all. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of yardage.
There's Jackson on 3rd and long. And going deep for Hill. And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 78 yards, as they are now on the board here in the first half. They were already down 2 scores early. They needed something to try to stem that tide, and that certainly qualifies. A big play to get them in the end zone.
It qualifies indeed because, let's face it, they don't get something done on this drive, turn it back over. This game could be 88 and out the gate early.
What? 88 and out the gate?
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, listen, I used to hear my old man talk about it. Usually meant that thing's done.
Well, now that they got the touchdown, it's not 88 and out the gate. We still got a good game going ahead of us. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line.
At their own 27-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily, fell incomplete. Now Collins going to throw again. Oh, he's trying for Smith-Schuster, but it's intercepted. Picked up by M.J. Stewart. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So a pick 6 there out of the nickel package. They went with 5 DBs.
Almost becoming the base package in the NFL is the nickel. Hard to throw against. That was demonstrated one more time. A pick 6 going the other way.
Butker now to add the extra point. Now we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. This is taken at his 4. And terrific field position here as they finally get him just shy of the midfield stripe.
In a tie game, both sides are looking for something to give them an advantage. It often falls back on special teams. And that return, that could be the spark to untie the game.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And that 14-0 lead to begin the ball game, well, that's gone now. Time to regroup.
I think even up 2 touchdowns, they knew this wasn't going to be a walk in the park, and I think that's why we would see the head coach going up and down the sidelines telling his team, let's stay with it, let's keep going. It's almost like he knew they were going to make their run at him, and they have. As you said, let's see if they can regroup and get going again.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
What we got? Check safety, check safety. Alert 3,
Here's a 2nd and 7. They'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. And a huge play that time. 44 yards. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. So the ball's moved to about the 1 after the penalty, 1st and goal. They'll go with a keeper. And no signal, but I don't think he got the surge behind center. No, he's going to be kept out of the end zone. No gain there as he kept it himself at 2nd down. Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. And now he'll tuck it and run. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the 1st down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Now this time he'll look to throw. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. Thought they were going to force a 4th down. Instead, P.I. gives them the 1st.
And that's frustrating because you think you've taken them really deep into the count, haven't you? Instead, you've got to start all over. That can really, really be demoralizing.
And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. No gain there as he kept it himself at second down. They'll try to punch it in with Fournette, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Leonard Fournette, his second touchdown on the season, and his guys have taken the lead. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match in a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's second and a yard from the 34. It's Henry, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a third down.
Here we go, here we go. Check the outs, check the outs, check the outs.
From the gun, it's Jackson. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. 3rd and 4, he did just enough, and I mean just enough to move the chains.
And that's all you're looking for, right? Just want to keep the drive moving. You don't need the big play there. Just get to that marker that you described, and he was able to do just that.
Jackson on first down. They'll set up the screen to Drake. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for second down. So they had the big loss on that first down pass play and facing a second and long. Now it's Jackson. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this second week of the regular season. Jackson now, flush to his right. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Collins. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. The big gainer there on the catch and run, 37 yards.
37 yards. First down after shot.
Collins now on first down. Going to throw deep for the end zone. And it's caught. Touchdown. DJ Chark, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. And they use that height on the outside to get the score.
We've seen the evolution of the wide receivers. They've gotten taller and taller, but they've retained their quickness and their speed. It's a lethal combination. Always good to have wide receivers with height.
Lambo on for the extra point. He's got it as they double up the lead. This one's now 28-14. And Lambo now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get it.
He's got a man, complete. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 33 yards that time.
I think it's pretty safe to say that initially they had to be thinking about trying to get into field goal range. But after that shot right there, they've got to be thinking bigger right now.
And that was probably their thought offensively. If we hit this, great, let's go for the end zone. If not, settle for a field goal. Looks like they can try to hit. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Tyreek Hill with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game, as his guys are back within a single score. The extra point up and good. And they're within 7 now at 28-21. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go! At their own 25-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. You're under a minute to go here in the half. Field position not really in your favor, but still time to try and move the ball and get in field goal range.
Yeah, you've got the lead. It's definitely a thought. Let's go ahead and try and increase it. But at the same time, I don't like the odds. I don't like where they are on the field. Got the lead. They've done well in the first half. Don't mess it up and go into halftime looking at each other wondering what if.
Now second and 10 at the 25-yard line.
An incomplete pass leads to second and 10 from the 25.
Watch 98 to Mike. And here we go. Watch the pass.
And here's Collins throwing again. He'll check this one off to Fournette. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. And they're left looking at 3rd and 8 after the second down pass play only went for 2. Throwing is Collins. Off the play fake. The open man is Shark. It's complete. All told, they get 13 yards on that play. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there.
And the Chiefs are going to get him. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Looking to throw. Collins. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Collins operating from the gun. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, but they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back, but that's one step in the proper direction.
Here's Hill on the return. 62 yards on the punt that time. Wow. And control of the football, switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Chiefs' offense about set to begin this drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. It's been a shootout so far. We'll see which defense can make the adjustments as we get back underway in the second half. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you turn that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. Now Collins throwing on first down. Dumps it off to Fournette. Call it a gain of 5, and that'll bring up second down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And he'll take it across the 50 and into Chief territory. Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here. 3rd and a yard.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Collins now from the gun on 3rd down. And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
He takes it down to the 42, a 5-yard run.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Not today, you are. Not today. Watch out. Match box.
From the gun, it's Drake. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game.
Let's go, baby. Hey, 25 the mic. We're going 25 the mic. Get your swerve on. Hey, 25.
From the gun on 3rd down. Jackson completes it to the tight end, Kittle. First down for the Chiefs. Solid chunk of yardage, 17 on the play.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw.
Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And the defense will get their hands on it, going the other way. And he'll bring it all the way back, just a yard or 2 shy of midfield.
I know one thing, the team that had the ball and was driving, they're going to feel horrible. But the team that was on defense, I think we got to give them a little bit of credit, able to hang in there and force a key turnover.
In the red zone, though, had a chance to tie it and an opportunity missed. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. We have seen a lot of points here in this quarter. For us up here in the booth, it's been fun to watch. The defensive coordinators probably scratching their heads.
Yeah, they're going a little bit crazy right now. But let's face it, all of our friends who play fantasy, they're enjoying the heck out of this show because most of them are creating and getting a bunch of points.
Yeah, points certainly not at a premium here. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards. And here's Collins on 1st and 10. And this one into the hands of DJ Shark. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. Now Leonard Fournette. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Throwing is Collins. Looking to throw on 2nd down.
So that's back-to-back drives where they're throwing an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive.
22 is coming, 22's coming, Mike.
On 2nd and 15 now. Jackson, they're going deep for Hill. For this home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Off the play fake, here's Jackson sliding out of the pocket. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. And there we saw rolling right out of the pocket. Maybe his momentum taking him toward that sideline led him a little too far.
Yeah, that is difficult, isn't it? Plus, you're closing down your space, right? You're shortening the field for your receivers. And their inclination is to go towards the sidelines as fast as the quarterback is as well. Hard for them to throttle down to leave themselves with enough room to stay in bounds and catch the ball.
Now Drake. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. And yet again, this run game just continues to be completely shut off.
Completely stymied. I mean, they're trying to get some consistency, trying to find places to roam. They just haven't been there throughout this game.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
Brings up 3rd down and 11.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Jackson from the shotgun. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. We have played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. We're back now in KC. It's the Chiefs with a football buck with work to do on the scoreboard. They trail as we start quarter number 4. And it bangs off the left upright and deflects away. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And no mistaking that sound. It reverberated through the whole stadium.
And it's the sound, Brandon, no kicker wants to hear. It looked like he had it on target the whole way, but the upright said,
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. Oh, Fournette loses it. It's out.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Throwing on 1st down. Collins. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. And what a big-time play there. 55 yards. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Collins from the gun, he'll throw. The quick slant caught. No gain there on the completion. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. So it's 3rd and goal now, and this is where the Arrowhead crowd can make it very tough. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. DJ Chark, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. Lambo to add on the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And they have to feel like they missed on an opportunity for points last time when they couldn't connect on that short field goal try. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And for the defense, their third sack of the game.
That number tells you that they're starting to put it together with their defensive game plan. They're starting to feel pretty good about what the offense is doing, bringing the pressure at the right time, and putting the quarterback on the ground.
To try again after the sack. Jackson, and the pressure gets to him again. Josh Allen able to get in there for his second sack of the afternoon.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
The Chiefs on third down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 17. Operating from the gun, Jackson. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down. I guess they're in a situation now, 4th quarter, where they're forced to take some chances, but I don't know that that was the type of a chance you want to take.
And that one could very easily have been intercepted. And if it does get picked off, that could possibly seal this one.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. This one into the hands of Kittle, the tight end. The 40, 20, 10, and all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. George Kittle, 82 yards, as his guys are back within a single score. When you're trailing in the 4th quarter, you got to take some chances you might not normally take, and here, that one pays off big time.
And you have to think to yourself, not only did that pay off big time for them, but what was going on the opposite side of the ball? They know that they have to take a chance here. They know they have to come up with something big, yet it still happens. So credit the execution, but wonder what the defense was doing.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
At their own 28-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game, and you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
A 4th quarter score now from Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. No problem for the Steelers. They have opened that lead up a bit further. If they hold on, a victory there would be their 3rd of the year. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. This a very important drive, and that incompletion leads to a very important 3rd down here if they're going to try and get the football back.
Yeah, getting it back, absolutely crucial to their chances to try and win this game. I would expect a lot of pressure here. They can't afford to let them continue to get first downs and eat away at the clock.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
It's our time. Watch 98. Watch 98. 98 to Mike. Let's go, Jose. Deep, man up, deep. Check. Echo, echo.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete. Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Oh, boy, he fielded it right on the goal line. Officially, that'll be a 63-yard punt. Well done. And the Chiefs are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. Position led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive that culminated in a touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. It doesn't matter where you start with the football now. They have to feel great about their opportunity.
He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down. On 2nd down, it's Drake. And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
This is 3rd and 2. Maybe the biggest play in this football game. From the gun, Jackson. And this is going to be incomplete.
Perhaps they overthought this one a little bit. They've been running it real well on this drive, and it was 3rd and short, okay? They decided to throw the football incomplete. Yeah, they might have thought just a little bit too hard about that play selection.
They're going on 4th down. It's Jackson. And they will set up shop with outstanding field position in the red zone at the 17-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected for the 2nd week in a row?
And it's caught. Touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster, his first touchdown of the new season. And his guys capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Well, what a quick turnaround there. They get the football. Next play, boom, touchdown.
I've been in a situation before where a turnover occurs, and if you're over on the bench with your defensive mate and you talk about what to do on your next series, and all of a sudden you hear sudden change, you've got to get out on the field and defend right away. Not everyone is mentally prepared to go.
Is that what is yelled on the sidelines a lot of times?
That, among other things.
Maybe some words we can't share here.
Yeah, we'll just keep this one PG.
FCC violation.
No doubt.
And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line.
The Chiefs take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
1st and 10 at the 34-yard line.
So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Throwing on 1st down, it's Jackson. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
the gain of 9. Brings up second and a yard.
To throw again on second down. Jackson. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it.
It's a gain of 20.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now it's Jackson. This will be caught inside the 10. And they move this all the way down to the 9. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards. Jackson operating from the gun. Buying time to his left. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down. So 2nd and goal, and the big man Henry alone in the backfield. Now Jackson. And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a 1-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
Extra point safely through. So still a chance with just over 20 seconds to go, but they need to get this one back, no doubt. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Let's go. 60 or 59. Go. Go.
But Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for our visitors, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Chiefs, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to Houston to take on the Texans. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready? Get ready, no. The blends be all the right cred, meaning credentials. Best of both worlds when we rockin' over pearls in the instrumental. Are you ready? Set. Jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady. To the letter rock. Turn it up. We giving a show. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about? Space out your mind. But can you rock it like rockets? That's a close encounter of what? When it was time.